Right, boys and girls, we're here with Mrs. Gale. I am filming. I'm just behind the screen. Mrs. Gale has had enough of me. So, Mrs. Gale, you're on your own. What are we doing?
Right, we're doing line graphs today. So, if Miss Mia just has to zoom in here. So, I know that this is up on the school website, and I'm just going to model as an example, okay? Now, if you can't print this off, that's fine. You'll have to look at it on screen and do as best you can. I would encourage you to print this if you can, if you've got access, because then you can draw onto the line graphs. And actually, this is the skill that we teach you in school.
Mrs. Gale will need the following equipment. So, a sharp pencil. You can see you've got a sharp pencil. A choice of rulers.
Oh my gosh. So I asked Miss Mia to go into the cupboard, and then I pulled out this, and I was like, that's fine if I was 5.
Mrs. Gale, can I just say you chose that one. You were about to use it, but it wasn't going to work.
I didn't really feel this would be probably secondary ready for year 6, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, let's move on.
Right. So the question is as follows. In a science experiment, a liquid was heated. This graph shows its temperature as it warmed up. It's really important here you understand the scale. So we've got here our point of origin, 0, 0. The y-axis here, which is linked to the temperature. So it goes up in multiples of 10. So you just got to know these increments here would obviously be 5s.
Increments?
Yes, that's what they're called. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay. Same going along this way. This is our x-axis. It's linked to time in minutes. It's really important you understand the y and the x-axis because otherwise you'll get your answers wrong. And this is going up in tens, but obviously the increments here are 5s. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so forth. So question A is, what temperature was the liquid after 30 minutes? So this here is a line graph. Line graphs aren't always straight. They can be curved as well. They can be quite staggered as well. So this is looking at temperature linked to time in minutes. So just remind myself, the science experiment is a liquid that was heated. So this is like the temperature and the time in minutes. So what temperature was the liquid after 30 minutes? So I'm just going to underline some key information here. 30 minutes, minutes. I've got to look at the minutes part here. Here is 30. So what I do is to understand the temperature, I've got to draw onto my line graph. So this is why it's really important to have a sharp pencil. From that 30, I had to do it directly up until it hits that line and then stop. Okay, I've got that point there. I then rotate my ruler and I've got to go along straight into that y-axis. And that's going to tell me what the temperature was after 30 minutes. So going along here, there's 30, 40, it's exactly halfway, therefore it must be 35.
35 what, Mrs. Gale?
Degrees Celsius, which they give us for it. Thanks, Miss Mia.
No.
Second question is, how long did it take to heat the liquid to 15 degrees? So because they're telling me degrees, I therefore don't look at my x-axis, I'd look at my y-axis here. Okay, so I look for 15. So 10 is here, 20 is here, 15 is halfway. So it must go from here. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to go along to the line, rotate my ruler, bring it down here, and it's bang on 10. Okay, so it'll be 10 minutes.
Now, to make it easier, boys and girls, you might want to use different colouring pencils so you're not confused. So you might want to use a different colour for part A and a different colour for part B, because I can imagine sometimes it being a bit confusing. Here, you're going to do another one, Mrs. Gale?
I think I will do this one because this one's slightly different.
I mean, I'd prefer it if you did maybe this one. It's easy for me to film.
Okay. Okay. A bean plant is measured daily from the
No,
day...
I mean this one here.
Oh, wow. This graph shows how the weight of a baby changed during his first 10 months from birth. So we've got from birth here. You'll notice here they're going up in ones, and the line is quite curved here. It's slightly different to the previous one. To the nearest...
Did you say it fluctuates?
Yeah, it fluctuates there a little bit. So to the nearest kg, kilograms, what was the baby's weight after 6 months? It says to the nearest, so I'm going to have to do some rounding here. So 6 months. Right. So this is the weight on the y-axis, and this is the age of the baby in months on the x, and they want to know after 6 months. Well, 6 months is here, and this is why we ask you to draw a line, because you're going to see when we come along that y-axis, it's going to be in the middle.
And this is the reason why you need a sharp pencil as well.
So to the nearest kg, what's the weight after 6 months? So let's go on 6, bang on 6, go up to that line there. And then I've got to go across from that line. This is why I want to make sure that my ruler is straight. And I'm going to go straight across. Okay. Now you can see here, this is why you drew a line. You're drawing a line with a ruler and a sharp pencil, because it's between 7 and 8. But actually the question says, if we look at the question again, to the nearest kg. Now actually, if I'm looking at to the nearest kilogram, it's actually closest to 7 rather than 8. So I need to do some rounding down. So my answer would be 7. Now, if I was going to write that in a decimal point, here, approximately halfway would be 7.5. It's probably about 7.4, 7.3. But if I wrote in this answer here 7.3, I wouldn't get the mark because it asked you to the nearest. You have to do some rounding. Okay.
Lots of children will forget about that nearest and write it to the nearest decimal point and wouldn't get the mark. So it's really important. Read the question carefully.
Good point, Miss Mayo. How much weight did the baby... This is a slightly different one here. How much weight did the baby gain between 2 months and 5 months? Okay. I'm going to have to look at a bit of a difference here. So let's have a look here. First of all, I'm just going to write at the bottom here. 2 months.
You're going to go equals.
Equals, yep. And then I'm going to say 5 months. Equals.
And what operation would you associate with difference with the scale?
Difference subtracting, because I'm
Okay, so
asking
we know
how
we
much
need
is
to
gain.
subtract something.
Okay. So let's first of all look at 2 months. So in 2 months, let's look at what the weight of the baby was. So the weight of the baby after 2 months here was, if I go along here my y-axis, after 2 months, it was 4 kilograms. So 2 months, 4 kilograms. 5 months, let's have a look here. Just put on my line. Here's 5.
Now some of you may be able to see this straight away from the video without drawing the second line.
Goes bang on 7. It was 7 kg. So how much weight did it gain between 2 and 5 months? So it was 4 kg and 7 kg. How much did it gain? Now some of you will count up from 4 to 7. Some of you won't see that and you just need to do 7 minus 4, which gives you 3. Okay, so it gained 3 kilograms because it went from 4 to 7. And that's your final answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Gale. That was very succinct and very precise.
That's all right.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I love a bit of line graphs. You've just got to read the question really carefully and you must have a sharp pencil.
No one cares, Mrs. Gale. Right, so thank you very much
Bye.
for your time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.